Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to talk to you about attending homeschool conventions. Now it is convention season, usually in the spring when people are trying to decide what they want to use curriculum-wise or whatever for their kids in the upcoming school year. And a great way to get a lot of information in a short period of time is to go to your local or your nearest homeschool convention. We have one here in Indiana that was about 2 weeks ago, I want to say, and we've never been to the Indiana one. It's kind of small. I mean, I hear it's a pretty good size. It takes up a good chunk of a convention center. However, it is still pretty small compared to the big one that we go to each year. My husband and I do not go on fancy trips. The last vacation we took by ourselves 10 years ago? Like vacation, yeah. It was about 10 years ago. And so it has been a while. We, instead of going on big vacations, just the two of us, or getaways, is we go to the homeschool convention every April. And we drive from Indianapolis to Cincinnati, Ohio, and attend the Great Homeschool Convention. I did a convention vlog, I think it was 2 years ago, and I think I just did it for one day. If you would like to see a convention vlog again this year when we go in a few weeks, be sure and let me know in the comment section if you would like to see that, and maybe I will vlog while we're there. But today's video, I'm going to give you some tips for attending your very first homeschool convention. A lot of times they can be overwhelming with everything that's going on, and that's totally fine. But hopefully these tips will prepare you. And these are not in any order. I was just kind of brainstorming things that I learned, and so I hope this is helpful for you. The first one I wrote is wear comfy shoes and wear comfy clothes, because a lot of times you will be on your feet a lot of the day going through the expo, walking from one place to the next. Just make sure you're comfy and bring a sweater. Again, depending on what part of the country you're in, you don't want to get too cold, so always bring a sweater with you. I usually end up wearing flip-flops, or again, depending on my clothing, flip-flops, my regular like exercise shoes, my running shoes, or I have a nice pair of black flats that are basically slippers, and so that's usually what I wear. As far as clothing, I wear just kind of whatever. Some days I'll wear a dress or a skirt, other days I'll be in jeans or leggings. I just want to be comfy, and of course the weather will dictate that. Sometimes late April in Ohio is still pretty cold outside, but we never really have needed an actual like a coat, and because that would be just horrible to have to lug around with you all day. The second tip is to go with a budget, and this kind of goes into some of the other tips, but especially for the expo, have an idea of what you want and an idea of how much you want to spend. And that kind of goes into all of the curriculum that they're going to have depending on your conference. Ours has, I don't even know, hundreds of booths. I don't even know. And a lot of them have a curriculum. And let me tell you, they are going to want to convince you that their curriculum is the curriculum that you need, that this would work for your kid because it works for all kids. And we all know that is not true. So go in there. I mean, they're trying to sell you something. Okay, that's their job. That's what they're there to do. They're to sell you their product, their program, or their book, or their computer program, their app, their whatever. And then there's like a Young Living booth. There was a LuLaRoe booth last year. I mean, there's kind of random MLMs in there. But what I'm talking about are specifically the curriculums or curricula. And they're going to want to make you think that theirs is the one that you need. And just go in there with your head screwed on straight. Think about your kids before you go. You got to know your kids, because even if you do know your kid really well and what you think will work for them, sometimes you don't know until you try it. And that just kind of happens. But you have to go in with an idea of what you want and know that you can't just say, well, that sounds good, I'll get that, because I'm telling you, you will spend thousands of dollars and use a fraction of it. If your homeschool convention allows this, go onto their website and print off a list of vendors so you know who's going to be there. Like if there's a curriculum or program you've heard of and you're really excited to learn about that, check the website and see if if they'll have a booth at the convention. Also, see if you can print out ahead of time the speaker schedule. When we first went to our very first homeschool convention, we thought we were just gonna peruse the expo and maybe go to a few talks. But let me tell you, we've absolutely loved the talks. Everything from parenting to different curricula to how to work with this type of kid or that type of kid. It has been so helpful for us. And honestly, what fills our brains and our love tanks a little bit is just learning about that, having time to think. We don't take the kids with us. Our convention does have a kids program, but we make it a getaway weekend out of it. But this, the way they have this set up is the different colors here. Like there's one that's Homeschool 101. So everything in the Homeschool 101 track will be highlighted in green. The classical track, everything is going to be highlighted in blue, so you can just kind of find that. But we love going through this before the convention and kind of marking what we want to see, what we want to hear. If there's a speaker who we've heard before, or maybe we've heard them on a podcast or something, and we want to hear them, we mark that. Now, when you get to the convention center, there's probably going to be a book, a guide. We usually pay for a second one. Usually, I think get one per family, but we end up, I think, springing $2 or $3 for another one. And it shows you all of the speaker schedules and everything. Do know that if you get this online, it is subject to change by the time you get to the convention. So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. But this will give you an idea of what you're going to hear as far as the speaking schedules go. And like I said, also see if you can get a list of vendors. Take snacks and take rest periods. You are only capable of learning so much in a short period of time. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, look at your speaker schedule or look at your entire day as a whole and say, okay, where is like an hour where we could just sit and talk or sit and read on our own and have that quiet time. I've brought my phone, obviously, and my earbuds so I can kind of just have that moment of peace. Mike and I have gone to like an eating table and just kind of gone over some things, compared notes, because let me tell you, we're so busy. We don't have that kind of time to do that, for an hour or two every day. We don't get to do that with our schedules and everything. So we really do try to maximize our time during the convention and during the whole weekend, even after we've left over dinner and everything, to talk about what we've learned and what we've seen. If you are going with your spouse or whoever is helping you homeschool, whether it's your mom or your dad or your grandma, grandpa, sister, brother, whoever, it is really okay to divide and conquer. There have been times when during, let's say this is 1 hour, this is from 2:30 to 3:30, we found there's maybe 2 or 3 things that we want to hear. And so what we'll do is if we're overwhelmed, we will decide on 2. I'll go to one and he goes to the other one. We just kind of choose who needs to hear this more. They do have some things that are just for moms. They do have things that are just for dads. They even have a grandparent track at our particular convention, and which I think is just really nice because we all know it's not always just mom and dad teaching. A lot of times grandparents and other family members will jump in. But take those rest periods, divide and conquer, and like I said, bring some food. In my experience, the options for meals, at the convention center, it's like fast food, pretty much. So I bring probably half of what's in my backpack. Sorry about that. About half of what is in my backpack is snacks. And one time there was this big line at, I think it was the chicken strips and the basket that you can get. It was this long line, and they ran out of plates. They ran out of those little plastic basket bowl things. And it was crazy. These women were hangry, okay? And this one mom is standing there and she goes, oh, and she pulls out of her purse, and this is such a mom thing, she pulls out of her purse one of those big dark chocolate bars from Aldi with the rectangles that you break off. And she was giving dark chocolate to all these moms, and we're like, yay, we were happy again. So that's kind of a funny story. But bring food. Depending on your convention center, sometimes you can bring it in, sometimes you can't. That's something to look into. But if anything, bring some snacks. 2 more things regarding curriculum. Remember that almost anything that you need, as long as it is not a consumable book, and sometimes consumables can be found this way, but used. Get some curriculum used if you can. If the prices you see at convention are just too much, then even while you're at convention, get on eBay on your phone, get on Facebook Marketplace, and try to find some used books. If you find something that you fall in love with, but you're going like, oh, that's still too much money, try to find it used, because there's a good chance that you can find it used or never used, because a lot of people buy stuff and never use them. So see if you can find some things at a cheaper price online. And on that, a lot of times, these companies will offer some sort of convention pricing. You either buy it there and you get a discount, or if you spend X amount at the convention, then you get free shipping. I know there was the Right Start Math program. We loved it. So what we did was we signed this thing. It doesn't sound as bad, or it sounds worse than it really was. But we signed this thing and we said, okay, we will purchase this within 6 months. They gave us 6 months. A lot of times convention pricing is like, if you buy this today, but they gave us 6 months, and they contacted us again in like September, October, said, do you want to buy this? And we ended up buying it, and we got convention pricing. But I've never heard of anyone else doing that kind of an extension on convention pricing. We were very interested in that. So, and I'm glad we got it. But just keep that in mind. If things seem a little steep online, or, you know, brand new on their website, they may offer some sort of a special at convention. So those are all the things that I can think of that may help you while attending your very first homeschool convention or homeschool conference, whatever you want to call it. I hope this was helpful for you today. If you like this video, please be sure to give me a thumbs up. And of course, I would love to have you as a subscriber. I just hit 6,000 subscribers, which is really exciting. So thank you to all of you who cared enough to press that red button 6,000 times. That's amazing. To me, I'm still small potatoes, but I think it's exciting. And if you are a seasoned homeschool convention professional, please be sure to leave some tips. If you have them that I didn't mention, leave the tips in the comment section, and I'm sure that would help a lot of other people. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.